Hey Psych2Goers, welcome back to another video. Have you ever lost a loved one or a meaningful relationship? Or perhaps you got rejected by your crush? Were you treated unfairly by your parents as a child? After any traumatic event, it's important to work on the necessary healing. Unhealed trauma can affect our brain and lives in many ways and unfortunately will not die down on its own. So, here are 5 ways unhealed trauma affects us. 1. Potential violent acting out. Have you ever wondered why some people turn to violence and aggression? In our brains, there's an emotional hub called the amygdala. While the amygdala controls the expression of many emotions, it tends to have a very prominent role in fear and aggression. Unhealed trauma tends to intensify these negative emotions in the brain, such as fear, anxiety, agitation, stress, and so on. According to Carolyn Yoder from Peace After Trauma, when trauma goes unhealed, the normal stress reactions from trauma can amplify into acts of violence. Yoder says that this sort of violence can pass through generations, so she suggests trying to break this cycle and heal as soon as possible. 2. The potential development of PTSD. It's natural to feel afraid during a traumatizing situation, but do you often feel stressed or frightened even when you're not in real danger? Post-traumatic stress disorder is one of the most well-known impacts of trauma. But did you know that PTSD actually results from unhealed trauma? This anxiety disorder can manifest in many ways. Common symptoms of PTSD are nightmares, flashbacks, avoidance of trauma, and emotional numbness. There are many layers and complexities that lie within PTSD, some of which are more recently brought to light. For more in-depth information about this disorder, be sure to check out some of our other videos like the 5 types of PTSD. 3. Potential substance abuse. Self-medication is a common coping mechanism for unhealed trauma. Unhealed trauma makes our stress reactions even more debilitating and can lead to substance abuse. People turn to drugs or alcohol for many different reasons. Commonly cited ones are attempts to displace emotions and avoid the constant impact of trauma. Substance abuse is dangerous and can quickly become an addiction. If you're suffering from substance abuse or unhealed trauma, the effective ways to combat them are cognitive behavioral therapy and treatment programs. 4. Unhealed trauma has more adverse effects on highly sensitive people. Highly sensitive people, also known as HSPs, have the tendency to feel everything more intensely, the good, the bad, and everything in between. When it comes to trauma, this tendency unfortunately still applies. According to Brooke Nielsen from Highly Sensitive Refuge, the characteristics of the highly sensitive brain can be intensified by unhealed trauma. Examples are traits such as emotional reactivity and anxiety. If you are an HSP struggling with the effects of unhealed trauma, please remember to be kind to yourself. There are resources to help you overcome these debilitating emotions, and with healing, self-love, and self-compassion, you'll be okay. And 5, potential physical health impairments. Did you know that trauma affects the body as well as the mind? According to a study done by Harvard Health, many people experience behavioral and physical changes like overeating, more adrenaline production, and even more inflammation due to unhealed trauma. This makes them more susceptible to a number of somatic diseases and disorders, such as cancer, diabetes, obesity, and stroke. In order to avoid these susceptibilities, it's important to try to get the help and heal from the past trauma. The Harvard Health study suggests a few resources to overcome common healing barriers. These include the International Society for Traumatic Stress Studies, the Anxiety and Depression Association of America, and the National Center for PTSD. The links to those websites are in the description below. Did you relate to any of the things explained in these videos? Did we miss any potential effects of unhealed trauma? Let us know in the comments below. And if you found this video helpful, be sure to like and share this video with those who might benefit from it. The references and studies used in this video are added in the description below. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.
All right, we can tell we got a class today, don't we? Yes, thoughts on the videos while I provide you those links. Any thoughts? Yes, Antonio. There's plenty of thoughts. Here's what I'm thinking.
Plenty. Okay.
Hmm. Hmm. Come on.
So what? But it's because of the trauma. Okay.
It is. It is. It is. And the crazy thing is, it could even be because of your parents' unhealed trauma that they
Mm-hmm.
didn't mention to you.
Mm-hmm.
Because a section
Wow.
of that was that this gets passed down generationally.
Epigenetic.
Yes. Yes. But here's what happened though. As we get older, well, as we become parents, we adopt this superhero model to where the parents not allowed to have any flaws whatsoever. So now our children are growing up acting just like us, but we beat that out of them because how you acting ain't got nothing to do with how I act. I didn't raise you that way.
Watch it.
Y'all should have saw Ebony side eye me. Y'all missed it. It was a side eye. All right.
Antonio,
Yes, sir.
when we were growing up, we
Mm-hmm.
couldn't afford medical treatment for our body. Ain't no way in the hell we gonna go see a psychologist or a therapist or anything for our mind. That ain't gonna happen. I got something for that mind. Come here. Come here. I got
You boy, you show right. Did anybody else grow up like Jerome?
Oh,
Man,
oh
you
yeah, just like
show right.
Jerome.
You show right. You sure it's gonna be the belt of the Lord.
That's what it is in the Black community, at least.
That's definitely that's why it's so much trauma in the black community. That's undeniable. That's undeniable. Whew. I don't know if y'all for to like me or hate me for
You
this. I'm not sure
probably
which one.
both.
Go ahead, Jalen.
used to have to get a switch from outside. If it broke,
Oh,
you had to go get another
that's
one.
right. That's
Yep.
right. Get your own
And
switch.
don't get the wrong one.
Oh,
You
because you
you
get beat
know.
with that little one while you go
Yeah.
get the right
Thank you.
size
Yep.
one. Ah,
Them little ones hurt
Kids should
they
be
had
worse.
a big
seen and not
house. They couldn't
heard.
catch me.
Yeah, no, no.
That's what you thought until they came after you.
Yeah, the little ones hurt worse. Well, I just don't have what it takes to be financially stable. Always end back up at square one, no matter what I do. I just can't manage money. I'm just not smart enough to get a high paying job. I'll never be able to afford the nice things that other people have. I must have done something terrible
Oh, please
to
stop that.
just,
I
You
was like,
know,
are you just
all that
speaking for me
negativity, all
for
that.
himself? Because
Oh
I
my,
was like, this is confusing if he's speaking for himself. And I felt like when he said hitting bothers things, I was just like, shut up.
right?
I'm
Up.
just I'm just reading. I'm just reading what I prepared before class, Jerome. That's all.
Yes,
Just reading
sir.
what I prepared for the class. I must have done something terrible to deserve what I've got going on. Mm,
Everything
I
can be
just
changed. Come on
mm,
now.
mm, mm.
You
And you know
know,
what? It's my fault. Something's wrong with me. It's my fault I can't provide for my family. I'm too weak to stand up for myself. I don't know enough to get out this financial rut. I guess it's just meant for me to struggle. Come on, help me, somebody. I'm just trying to.
mm,
I'm just reading statements
yeah,
that
well,
I'm
read the
then.
statement and then I mean, come on, you're talking it to an existence, you
That,
know? You're making that, the thing. So, all right, this time you don't, you go on and you do something else. Come on, stop. Get out of that pity
there's no
pit.
point in me even trying. It's gonna be what it is. It is what it is. I don't deserve to be wealthy or
See,
comfortable.
I have to just walk away from you. You would not be my
But
friend.
but
Mr.
here,
Smith, Mr. Smith. As I filled out, I wrote 10 things of why I am amazing.
mm-hmm,
And let me tell you, and I sent it to you. And they were
Yep.
all fantastic things.
Mm-hmm.
Why was it, as I contemplated and looked at those, there was a reservation? There was a no. Why? Because if those things, if I'm really amazing and those
Right.
things really happen, why was there any? And I said to myself, I'm gonna smack the hell out of Antonio.
Jerome, wait till I finish this list and watch this turn I do, Grace. Wait till I finish this list and watch this turn I do. Watch this turn I do. Always screw up. I'm always messing up. I don't know what's wrong with me. I don't know why I can't get my money straight. I'm not educated enough. I should have been there. I should have been further than what I am. I don't. I must not be the type of person that can get along with you. If you're with me, if if that's how you feel, then why are you with me? I don't know why money's so hard to get. Money just slips through my fingers. I'm just not a saver. I'm a spender. I'm too damaged from my past to be happy. I always make choices that seem to bite me in the face. I'll never catch up. I'm destined to live paycheck to paycheck. I'm just a burden. I don't want to be a burden. I can't accept that. I'm empathetic. I'm just a nice person. Why bother saving? It's not going to add up anyway. I'm not worthy of such help. I don't mean to be, whenever you have time, please contact me. Whenever you have time, please contact me. I'm going to do it again. This one came up the most. Whenever you have time, please contact me. So what you're saying is, I'm not going to have time. You expect me not to have time. So you're leaving me to have time up to me to talk to you. I got it. This is just too much. You don't understand how she makes me feel. I'm just not motivated anymore. And lastly, Grace, I'm just not cut out for this prosperous life. Everything that I've read wasn't just me talking. Dion, you're right. That's a bunch of negative self-talks. Stay away from me. But Dion's right. If somebody talk like that, please stay away from me. That's all y'all statements. I took 60 videos and transcribed them and found in our discussions all the statements. I only read half of them. Let's go with the other half, Grace.
No.
I always mess up. Grace, I always mess up. I can't do anything right. I don't like looking stupid. Everybody must be laughing at me. Why would anyone take me seriously? I probably sound stupid right now. I know this is a dumb question, but everyone must be thinking I'm stupid. I feel like a fraud. My sabotager, my imposter syndrome. Soon they'll know about me. They sleeping on me. They gonna give me my respect one day. I don't fit in here. I'm not smart enough. I'm sure they regret inviting me to this meeting. You know what? Just remove me from the team so I don't mess up. I bet. I mean, mm, 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 mm.
That one was crazy.
Y'all
I've
done all the
heard
way.
that. I ain't never said it, but I've heard that.
Yeah,
You
yeah,
heard
yeah,
it.
yeah,
Wait,
yeah,
what was that last
yeah.
one?
Well, just remove me from the team so I don't mess nothing up.
You got
Oh,
it. I don't want to mess nothing up.
But why bother trying? It's not gonna work anyway. They're gonna judge me anyway. I don't know if those people like me. They criticize me behind my back. I always say the wrong thing. I be trying to say the right thing. I should just be quiet. I shouldn't have said nothing. I'm not as smart as everybody else. I don't really know words like that. I don't really know math like that. I don't really, they must be thinking I don't belong here. I always fall short. If they knew the real me, they'd be disappointed. I'm not good at anything. I don't know my purpose. I don't understand why I'm here. Why did he choose me? He could have chose anybody. Why choose me? Everyone else knows what to do except for me. I don't deserve to be here. Y'all are lucky. I'm not lucky. I'm always the problem. Everybody else is fine. My ideas are never good enough. Why should I share them? I should just stay in the background. I'm going to just keep my camera on. No one values my opinion. It's probably not worth that much. Why would anyone care about what I think? I'm not just going to I'm just going to let everybody down, remove me from the team. Every time I try, I just mess things up. Every time I try, I embarrass myself. Every time I try, I feel stupid. Every time I try, I don't get the credit. I can never get anything right. It was going to fail anyway. I'm too old / too young to be taken seriously. They don't respect me. I transcribed our videos, found the statements, and was ready for this class. Now, Dion is absolutely right. Oh my God, how you get that person away from me? We don't recognize we're the person we need to get away from us. The class is called How to Get Out Your Own Way, not how to get out of Grace's way. Grace ain't the problem. We are the problem.
Oh, it's so fun. Well, not funny.
Yeah, go ahead. I was just open up for the discussion. Go ahead.
In my little notebook here, I just wrote that today. Let go of the old version of me and journey on to the new version. And getting rid of what I used to think of and going forward. So there you go.
Tough, right? I mean,
Yeah.
that's
Oh,
tough.
it's hard. It's hard. Believe
That's
me,
tough.
it's like an hourly thing because I'm telling you, I'm all up in this head.
Real bad, Grace. Just so you see, I just went to the middle of the list. Just so y'all, I just went to the middle. I didn't even those ain't even the real numbers. It's just Zoom just put the numbers. I just want y'all to know I wasn't making that up off the top of my head, Jerome. I literally did transcribe the things we say because we're trying to move past this fear of criticism. We're trying to get out of our own way. But I got another video to share.
What was your childhood like? While for most of us, childhood was a simple and carefree time, not everyone is lucky enough to have that. Some may have experienced trauma at an early age, robbing them of their sense of safety and security. Defined as the experience of a single or multiple event by a child that is emotionally painful or distressful. Studies show that childhood trauma often leads to serious, lifelong damages to one's mental and physical health. Have you ever wondered how such experiences could impact a person? While there are a lot of ways childhood trauma can impact you, here are the main ways it can shape your view on life. Number 1, it makes you more pessimistic. How do you see the world? Many studies have proven that people who have experienced a traumatic event, especially when they were younger, are more likely to be pessimistic. They often generalize their traumatic experience into a generalized negative expectation of the world, which makes it more difficult for them to see the positive side of things or trust that good things will happen. Instead, they internalize their unhealed trauma until it manifests as either self-blame, passive helplessness, or a pessimistic worldview. Number 2, it makes you feel more alone. A lot of research tackles the detrimental effects childhood trauma can have on a person's mental and emotional well-being. But what we don't often realize is that these detrimental effects can trickle down to impact our view of not only ourselves, but of the world in general too. How? Well, childhood trauma is known to increase a person's likelihood of developing depression and anxiety, as well as making them more vulnerable to feelings of guilt and shame. This negative self-view then makes victims more socially withdrawn, and as a result suffer from lower levels of social and emotional support and poorer quality of interpersonal relationships. Number 3, it makes you self-sabotage. Similar to the previous point, a person who's experienced childhood trauma may be more likely to self-sabotage, especially when it comes to their relationships. In fact, studies have shown that a large majority of those who have suffered abuse or violence-related childhood traumas go on to develop adult attachment disorders. Most of them have a hard time maintaining long-term relationships, be it platonic or romantic, because of how their trauma has distorted their view of human nature. Instead of believing in a person's innate capacity for good, they've learned to fear their capacity for evil and deceit, which makes them less trusting and more likely to self-sabotage, creating problems where there might not even be one. Number 4, it takes away from your sense of safety and security. Have you ever wondered why some people who've experienced trauma end up struggling with it for years, even long after it's already over? Trauma of any kind can have lasting physiological damage. And when you experience it at such a formative time of your life, such as in childhood, it can take years to unlearn and undo. Being traumatized takes away a person's sense of safety and security, which is crucial to a child's development because it's what bonds them to the significant people in their lives and encourages them to explore the world and fulfill their potential. Without this sense of safety and security, they might grow up to become overly timid, anxious, fearful, or overly attention and approval seeking. And number 5.
Y'all not gonna sleep on that. Overly. That's literally 98% of this class. You're over Christian. Jerome is an over Christian because of the trauma that he has had in his life.
Away a person's sense of safety and security, which is crucial to a child's development because it's what bonds them to the significant people in their lives and encourages them to explore the world and fulfill their potential. Without this sense of safety and security, they might grow up to become overly timid, anxious, fearful, or overly attention and approval seeking. And number 5, it hinders your ability for meaning making. Some of the most widely used psychological treatments given to victims of trauma include cognitive therapy, narrative therapy, and logotherapy, all of which focus on helping clients make sense of the trauma they've experienced and create positive meaning out of it. Because victims of trauma struggle with this the most, it's often what keeps a lot of them from moving on and healing from their painful past. Even though traumatic experiences are usually unexpected, uncontrollable, and seemingly random, we still try to make sense of it anyway. But in doing so, it can distort our way of thinking so much that victims often either victimize themselves, where they take away their own sense of agency and being able to do something about their trauma, or blame themselves for what happened. So, have you or someone in your life experienced a childhood trauma that's changed the way you view life? If you are struggling with your mental health in any capacity, please don't hesitate to reach out to a mental health care professional today.
Unfortunately for y'all are reaching out to a mental health care professional today, and you're on his couch. Okay, let's talk about Christianity for a moment.
4 and 5 are me.
No doubt, for sure. Let's talk about Christianity for a moment. What does Christianity do? Christianity tells Dion to forgive. When you have trauma, unhealed trauma, you over forgive. Put a pin in it. We're going to come back to it. What does Christianity tell you to do? Turn the other cheek. When you have unhealthy trauma, I'm going to give you scientific terms for this in a second, but you over turn the other cheek. You know how you know, Antonio, can you tell us how we've known we over turn the other cheek? Yeah. When I walk away, you think all that stuff you should have said to me. How many of you couldn't get no sleep at night after an incident? And everything you thought to say, you should have said it. And you let a preacher tell you, oh, that's the devil in you. That's the flesh in you. No. You suffer from being overly timid. And your psychology is telling you this is where we should have stood up for ourselves. It doesn't mean to do the gangster stuff you want to do, Dion. Because you're thinking about strangling me, you understand? And you know, my tongue hanging out my mouth. The method is not what we should be focused on, but the idea of I should have stood my ground. I should have made my feet a safe place. And if you be honest with yourselves, most of y'all feet aren't even your own safe place. I'll do that again. Ebony, who is hiding her face right now. Okay. Ebony has never gone anywhere without her toes. And her mind told her toes to go there first. And you'd be surprised how, if you look down at your feet right now, the environment they're standing on ain't even your safe place. That's your cousin's safe place.
Watch yourself, Reverend.
I don't know. What do you mean? What does that mean?
A lot of us aren't safe in our own homes. We built it, but I got to go in the bathroom, or I got to sit in the car for 15 minutes before I walk out, because it's not my safe place no more. Someone's taken that. External circumstances have taken it. This is a good question, Anne-Marie. So now, even in my, or here's a fun one. Oh, Anne-Marie, here's a fun one. This was my safe place. Now I moved my damn daughter and son in. And they are interrupting my safe place. Y'all getting it? Just because you should be safe in your home doesn't mean you feel safe in your home. And it doesn't have to be somebody's going to hit me, because ain't nobody going to hit Anne-Marie. I mean, not in live. That's not going to happen. Not live. That's not going to happen. But y'all ever realize, man, my guard's been up. I didn't even know it, because you like went outside, or you went on vacation, or you talked to somebody, and you was like, I never got to put my guard up around you. And it comes out in these little slick ways. You'll say something, and here's still, right now, these are blanket statements. I haven't gotten to I'm not talking to you as individuals just yet. Okay. And Anne-Marie's question was a point of clarity. It wasn't an individual question. But if we live long enough, sometime we get to the point where we realize, damn, I ain't relaxed in years. Who knows what I'm talking about? This is how you know. I'll give you a good example. Pay all the bills off for a year and see how much your brain relaxes. Don't even do a year. Just get 2 months ahead and watch how much your brain goes. Damn, we were stressing. I'm telling you, get an extra $10,000 and start paying stuff off, and watch how you go. Oh, thank you, Jesus. I didn't even know I was holding on to all that. It's real quiet. But people like Anne-Marie, Dion, and Jerome, they know about, if I get hit on these bills, something I ain't got to worry about. We can't even relax.
It's funny you say that, because I did that. When I took out the money, I paid my rent for 6 months. I paid off my car. I paid my insurance. So I'm living, just in the now.
In the now. Now, when that clock hit, Phil, and she got 33 days and 22 hours left, whoever she is going to show up, right? Go ahead, Phil.
I know I've shared this before with you, but I picked up Reverend Robert Schuler at the airport. And as he was coming out of the gateway, I said, may I take your bags? He said, sure. So I started coming. He says, I didn't used to have people take my bags. I go, well, why is that? He says, well, I don't think so. I'm so happy I can't carry my own bags. But I realized I denied somebody the opportunity to serve. He said, the second thing I learned is you don't know how heavy your baggage is until you don't have to carry it anymore.
Ooh.
Watch it, Mr. Phil.
That's the truth. That's the truth. You don't know how heavy it is until you don't have to carry it. Anne-Marie's question is right. Like, explain it. It's as adults. I'm about to give it to you in way too much of a scholarly way, because maybe I know how to break it down. We'll try to break it down. As adults, we hold on to attachments that's unfair to us. Now, we're not talking about all adults. just the ones like Antonio and Anne Marie and Dion and Ina that went through unfair trauma from people who were supposed to protect us.
Mm-hmm.
You understand? So when a relationship has been violated and your only job, Grace, was to exist as a child, what is a child supposed to do? To be wholly obedient that you're going to provide for me. And at some point, I would do it for myself. But at 8 years old, it's not that time. 15 is not that time. The first 18 years of my life are learning how to provide for myself. But human beings, it's this age, this 18-year age of unbridled obedience. It's what it should be. The problem with that, though, Anne Marie, everybody in our family don't deserve our obedience.
Oh no, definitely not.
Okay. So what ends up happening is this is what Grace does. We end up making a meaning out of Antonio taking advantage of his relationship over Anne Marie. Was Anne Marie stupid for listening to me, her uncle? No, that's what she was supposed to do. But I took advantage of that. And now trauma has made a meaning out of it. So now what she does, she starts saying things like, I'm never going to put myself back in that situation. Who know what I'm talking about?
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Come on, don't fool me now. All right. Right. That you start looking. I saw this post on social media, on Facebook. It's so real. It uses the same words twice. It says, I used to look out for people. Now I just look out for people. And that's accurate. That is accurate.
Some people, what I saw another one that said, don't look for, no, something about salt and sugar. They look the same. Be careful.
Show right. They show do. I got you, Jalen. I used to look out for people. Now I just look out for people. That's cold. Boy. That's cold. And that's real. Okay, how saved you are. You feel that. You feel that. Yeah, yeah. Bars for real. I saw that, man. I was like, man. I want to present a new fact to you. What you allow. How do I want to say this? What you allow continues. You should write that down.
I raise my daughters that way. You allow people, you teach people how to treat you.
That's a fact. That's a fact. That's a fact. What you allow continues.
Mm-hmm.
Let's give some credence to what I'm saying, and then we're going to back up. It's called adult attachment disorder, and I want to spend most of the class here. I want us to understand, like you can Google this, okay? I want us to receive, and y'all more than welcome if your backgrounds is not too loud, you can keep your mic unmuted and you can give me feedback the whole time. This is a great discussion. I want us to recognize, today's class is not for everybody. Today's class is for the people who had trauma in their childhoods. So if you have not had let's call childhood 1 to 25. That's what we're gonna call childhood. 1 to 25 should be childhood. Your insurance don't even go down into 25. The government say you still a kid. Now, why am I saying 25? Because your brain is still developing. Okay, your brain is still developing. This is why I'm saying 25. Now, if you have not gone through childhood trauma, then today's class is not for you. It's for you to have understanding and empathy for the people in your lives who have. Is that okay? Now, some of you are going to say, well, I didn't go through no trauma, but you're going to be like Grace. Grace had a traumatic childhood. and no trauma involved at all. Tell him, Grace. Tell him, and then tell him how. And she just found this out. Her childhood, her parents did everything they were supposed to do. She better not complain.
Yeah.
At the same time, Grace had a traumatic childhood. Tell him, Grace.
Yeah, I was yeah, my parents, yeah, it wasn't none of that. Nobody beat me, nobody
Nope.
told me you ain't good for nothing,
Nope.
and you're never gonna do nothing or amount to anything, and none of that.
No abusive
None of
words,
that.
no
None of that.
raised voices. By all intents and purposes, Grace should be ashamed of herself. No, this isn't the truth. This is just the the black thing that we this is what this is the I ain't do nothing to you, right? This is not critically thinking. She should be ashamed of herself. How dare her say she had a bad childhood? Grace, tell him why.
I was angry.
No. Hold on. I'm gonna put your word in. I'm gonna put your word to you. When you said this one day, I think she cried.
Oh, okay,
yes. Tell her why, Grace. Tell
Because
her why.
I felt invisible all the time. All the time. At home, at church. I felt invisible. And because of that, this is why I always want to be behind the scenes. I ain't the pretty girl. Y'all move up front. Y'all do all that.
Who
I don't want
told
to
you
be
you
seen.
weren't pretty?
You're
No, but me,
beautiful. Stop that.
Grace told me.
Yeah, nobody told her this, but see, Grace has the problem of being the younger sister, and her older sister was better than Grace, more prettier than Grace, more attention than Grace, more responsible than Grace. Yeah, I get it.
Older
This is
siblings don't have it easy at all either.
true.
You can throw that in there.
True. We'll do it after we highlight Grace. Then we can go to you. We can highlight you, who are clearly the older sibling. Okay. We can highlight you in a second. We can highlight you in a second. That's fair. That's absolutely fair. But Grace was the invisible one because her sister was better than her. When it doesn't matter. And here's what I want you to get to understand before Grace continues. This ain't about right or wrong. This is about what her brain went through.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. Because
I hate. Hold on, Grace. Let me defend you and people like you. I hate when y'all go, nah, that wasn't this. That wasn't really no, because she felt the trauma all the same. Just because you can't relate, don't mean I didn't go through it. Amen.
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 All right, go ahead, Grace.
Yeah, and like I said, my parents never said your sister better than you, and nobody said that. My brain told me that.
Right.
My brain told me that. Just looking around because she was more outgoing than me and what have you, whatever. And so,
There's
and I
no
always,
place. There's no place for a quiet church member. There's no place for a quiet person. Do we live in an extroverted world?
Right.
So that automatically would make you weird. And she's a little lighter complected than you too, huh?
So we got the same color.
Yeah, about the same color. Okay. Keep going.
We got the same color.
But was she more developed than you in the body?
Yes.
And did the boys give her attention and not you?
I was a tomboy, so I didn't want the attention.
Did you not want the attention because you were a tomboy, or did you decide you were going to be a tomboy so you didn't have to not get the attention that would hurt your feelings if it didn't come? I don't know.
Oh.
But that's a question. I don't know. Would you ever have been a tomboy if you got all the attention and boys thought you were cute from the beginning? Would you ever thought? I don't know. I'm not trying to answer the question. I'm forcing you to critically think, because the way she said I was a tomboy, it was like as if that's a thing. That's not a thing.
A tomboy is a thing.
It's not a it's something we made up. It's something we made up. But like God did not go, let there be tomboy, right? It's not. That's not. It's not, yeah. Keep going.
But yeah, so I just hey, my sister's the one. She,
Right.
and so I just I stayed in the background or whatever.
Yeah.
And
You ain't the
and
only one.
a lot of my friends, they were more outgoing than I was. Now, if you make me laugh, I'm your friend for life. Okay, so, and I love hanging around people, who are funny,
The
outgoing, what
same
have you.
person, just like the same exact person. It's kind of scary.
But yeah, and so in my eyes and on my brain, my friends were more attractive than I was. They were getting the attention, what have you, or whatever. And so when someone did come and approach me, I was like, oh, it made me nervous because that didn't happen often. So, but yeah, it was just I was invisible, so I was angry because you know, I'm invisible.
But
So
there's nothing wrong with you saying as a younger sibling you was invisible. There's a real deal middle child syndrome. There's a real
mhm.
deal younger sibling, and it could have been reversed. It could have been the oldest. Hers is Ebony's opposite. Deanna's is opposite. Deanna
Yeah,
is I'm the oldest, so you the second parent, and the
yes.
Yes.
youngest is the favored one, right? The youngest
Oh
is the
my
favorite
God.
one. So
Hmm.
so it's
Oh.
the exact opposite for Deanna and Ebony, right? It's the exact opposite. You know better. Not make sure the youngest gets everything that they want. Okay. So let me switch from you. My point here is just because I'm gonna when we let Ebony get this off her neck and her chest, it's because I'm trying to say what today's class is about. Those who went through trauma, but I wanted to get the graces who were going to say, well, nothing happened to me. Because here's the deal, Trinace, she ain't get beat up in the face. That don't mean she grew up without mommy issues. You understand? Because when you got that family dynamic, if that family dynamic is not ready to be healed, then you're the one that's, in the army we say it rolls downhill. And it's not the words it's not, it's SH in front of it. It rolls downhill. And it gets bigger as it rolls, Jerome. You understand. All right. It gets bigger as it rolls. It gets bigger and stinky as it rolls. Okay, Ebony, and then Dion next. Ebony.
I was always told
Mm-hmm.
I was the oldest. I gotta do better. I gotta be more responsible. And I was just being a kid at the time with
Yes,
my
the
siblings
old
doing,
third parent responsibility there.
and
Mm-hmm.
I would always, "Oh, better get your sister, a sandwich and stuff like this." It's like I always had to do stuff. That's why I don't want kids now. Because I was a parent when I was
That's
a
fair.
child.
That's
When
absolutely
I was
fair.
a kid, I was a child. I was just like, pop that kid yesterday. I was like, pop that kid. Hearing the little baby cries.
It's fair.
Ugh. It
That was a
was and
strong
is frustrating.
That was a strong. Did y'all hear that? That was strong. You
It
you sound like
is.
you walked in somebody fought the way you did that. Ugh. Y'all are disgusting.
My
Is what the way
daddy
you
was,
did
he
that.
was the main one. Always said, I mean, you oldest, you supposed to know this,
Yeah.
and this, and this. And I was like, how? You never taught me. You never taught me. So how am I supposed to just know? And
I've
I'm a
never heard crap dusted.
and I'm a child at this point.
But child was taken away from you because as a child you were told you need to. As a child you were punished for not acting like an adult. Yeah, listen to what you're saying. You the oldest, you know better. No, 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 no. They wasn't saying you're 13, be 13. They were saying you 13, you know better, act like us. That's what they were telling you. You were being punished for not being 13. This is what we do. No, that's what we do. We take our 12-year-olds and be like, shut up in church. Firstly, okay, shutting up in church is an adult thing. Let's keep it real. It's boring as hell in here. Let's no, 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 no. It's boring. It is church is absolutely boring until you care about it. Until you care about it. This don't make no sense. Tuesday, what y'all doing on a Tuesday for? What's going on? That's that's a faith thing, Dion. When your faith grows. But I'm 12. You drug me here. If I'm smacking on this gum, then that's what I'm doing.
I remember the days you used to stay over at your friend house or your uncle house, and then you had to go to church with them, and they'd be like, "I want to go," and then the same with when they came to your house, you especially a white friend, he did
Oh
not want to
yeah.
go to church.
Nah. Yeah, buddy. I remember being on one of my white friend's house, and I have no idea if this is a white thing. I'm just saying my white friend. I'm not gonna do that, Mom.
Oh God, it is.
Don't you ever, don't you ever say that to my parents.
Oh, wait a minute.
Shut up,
Right?
Mom. Oh,
I'm with my
what?
friend
What?
right now. Wait
I
a
thought I was in
minute.
Wait
trouble.
a
I didn't
minute.
even do nothing.
Wait a
Go to the
minute.
room and slam the door.
Hold on. Wait a minute.
Mm-mm.
Because they lied both of them. Me, Anne Marie, and me, we get whooped at the same time. Same
Right.
but I lay across this mattress. So
Oh yeah.
no doubt. Ebony, your trauma is justified because as a child, you were told to be an adult. So what did she do? She made a meaning out of it, Ina. She said, well, being an adult, being a child can't be fun. So I don't want no children. And also, here's the most important part. This is what happened. This is literally what happened to Deanna. These are her words. Just literally what happened to her. And since I lost my childhood because of my brother, then it's his fault. And I need to take it out on him.
Well, I mean, I could take that out on all of my younger siblings, but
See it? See it?
I,
All of
I
them need to be
wouldn't, I
kicked in the
wouldn't
teeth.
say, I wouldn't say that it's his fault. It's my parents' fault because I was supposed to be adult when I was a child, and now I'm supposed to be some super adult now.
No doubt. Because 31
Then
years old is when you have literally become a billionaire and have your life together. Duh.
exactly,
Shame on you. Shame on you
exactly.
for, not being Bill Gates at 31. Crazy, crazy talk. Ina, before we get to Dion, you want to talk about your comment? You don't have to, but we're going to see this. If it
No,
is, this
no, yeah, but that
growth.
it might
Yes.
it might be that well, this is not what traumatized me the most because my place was traumatizing, my home
Fair
place was
enough.
traumatizing, and
Right.
so I wanted to make sure to be always with my brother. So I became because he had, he was 3 years older than me, and so his friends were all boys. So in order for for them to take me with them, well, I had to do some boy stuff. So that's why I started doing the boxing, riding with motorcycles, all that kind of stuff. I cut my hair short, so all that to not be at home. So yeah, and this is a bit traumatizing. What traumatized me was when he left the house because he had a girlfriend, and I left. I was left alone, and yeah,
That's another point of trauma though, because he
yeah.
was allowed to have a girlfriend. No way in the world you was that young and allowed to have a boyfriend. You know,
Oh no
I'm
way.
making assumptions here, but we know that little boys get more freedom than little girls, don't we?
Yeah.
Or do I not live on planet Earth? Is that not?
Yeah.
Because, all right, because if I come home at an 8 and I start spraying cologne and start dressing with my shirt open, oh look at that boy, he cute. If Dion come home at 8 and start painting her nails and unbuttoning her shirt and have it open, Dion fast. Is I thought we had the
Fast.
same. I thought we had the same
Fast.
family. Okay,
Fast.
all
Yeah,
right then.
yeah,
Well,
All right, so
I
yeah.
paint
that's
my nails, but
well. But I'm talking about popping that shirt open.
oh no.
I
So
popped that
you can
shirt
see the
open.
cleavage.
Yes, I popped that shirt open, boy. Cause I being silly for you catch a cold. She popped that shirt open. She got to get one of them fast whoopings for being fast. You understand? We got to knock the fastness out of her. And your little messy on Jackie gonna prophesy over you how you're gonna be pregnant as a
Messy on
teenager. It's always on Jackie. That messy
Yeah.
Messy
self.
on Jackie.
That messy.
Did you?
Ah,
A
Yeah.
lot of a lot of childhood trauma comes from parents competing with each other with their kids. The Jackie kids is doing this. Look at what we doing over here. And I'm not feeling had Jackie come over this house and throw that shade at me because her kids is doing better.
Well, I from my side, I was like, my problem was I was pretending to be what I was not. I wasn't really feeling like a boy, but I wanted to look
Same
like
thing
what.
Grace just said. Grace said I was
Yeah.
a tomboy. Grace, are you a tomboy today? Even though you still like sports and stuff, but I mean girl sports.
No.
So then you was never, or maybe you grew out of it. Who knows? I won't, but you get it? Sometimes we do things but you are feminine, yes, Grace?
Yes.
And you want to smell good and be soft.
Yes.
You don't want calluses on your toes
No.
and your hands.
No.
None of that.
Ew.
No scratchy heels.
Mm-mm.
No long messed up toenails.
Please, no.
No boy feet.
No.
Okay, got you. All right, keep going, Nina. I just wanted to
Ripping
make
the
sure.
sheets feet.
It's ripping the sheets feet. Yeah, got to smell like corn nuts in here. You take off your
No, they
socks.
need to go get a pedicure if it's like bad, G.
Serious.
For real. It smell like corn nuts and Fritos all up in here.
I was different. My I was the oldest, and I was always told, "Why don't you do what your brother's doing? Why are you doing this and not that?"
Yep.
I was different because he was very smart, and I just didn't care.
So you got the ebony problem then. You got the ebony problem. Yeah, buddy. Look how far they along. You understand
Mm-hmm.
it. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
buddy. You got that. Keep going, Nina. Keep going.
Yeah, I was because I had an accident when I was younger and I had to spend a lot of time in the hospital. My mother was always like on me saying like you know what disgust you being at the hospital, and I have to come here every day, come and see you, and stuff like that. So that was already bad.
Okay,
So then
let me
yeah.
translate that. What would have happened to her brain? You're a burden, child. Of all my kids, you're the only one costing me money. You being alive is affecting this whole family.
Yes. Yes.
Just your life is keeping all this in poverty. This is what her brain would have did. And I bet you today you still suffer from some of these things because you got a lot of unhealed trauma, right? You still suffer from.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, staying sick too long. Don't go into the hospital enough of that. I have no idea what it is, but y'all get the point though, right? They get the point. And if you're not careful, we'll then invite a mate into our lives that act like our mothers, that
Yes.
act like whoever your oppressor is typically who you're going to go find.
True.
Because all your emotion and energy is bottled up in that I don't like my oppressor, but that's your dominant thoughts. And of course, we get in this world our dominant thoughts. Okay, go ahead,
Yeah, so the doctor said make sure that she can do something that she really likes because she might fall back, and regularly I still fall back. But so I went to art school, so that was okay because my dad was an architect. So it was okay, but the thing was, you got dressed. I was like in my Michael Jackson trousers with like, the things
we knew
you
what decade you grew up in. Yes.
yeah, I mean, I felt my age. But the thing was, my father was also a the Rotary Club. So he was the president of the
Yep.
Rotary Club. And so there were people at home. So we always had to, I explicitly, because of all that, reacted against that. I wanted nothing to do with that. I didn't want to take advantage of any of the advantages that I could get just to
Yeah.
be stupid, actually. But just to be, and then, I came home and with my friend, a girlfriend, and, there were people sitting there. And so they presented me as a neighbor's daughter because I was dressed in that way. So, yeah, so things like that, and it goes on and goes on. But yeah, so this is a bit of the, I wanted to make it in my life myself. And then my father had a job and I didn't want that job because I wanted to find a job I wanted. And so, they always wanted to push me in that high society that I didn't want to be in. So, and I still don't want to be in there. And yeah, and so she let me feel that the hard way because I think I didn't speak for 5 years because I didn't take the job that my father, wanted me to do.
Well, trauma would do that. Trauma would do that, and let me skip what I was going to say for right now. Y'all do me a favor. This is a compliment. This is a compliment. You talk to trigger folk. You gotta start off like this first. This is a compliment. This is the first time Ina has spoken. Yes. That's not a singling out. We're going to celebrate her for 2 reasons. Celebration number one, because ain't nobody else gonna celebrate her today, because we live on planet Earth.
Yeah.
That's a fact, right? We all ain't nobody going. If we don't celebrate us on this call, ain't nobody else. When we hang up, ain't nobody else gonna celebrate us, right? Dion, do you expect somebody to go, "Good job today, Dion," for any reason today?
No.
No, we can
Not
go
at
a
all.
whole year. We can go a whole year without getting a single birthday card, holiday card, any card. Right? We can go a whole year. Jerome understands. So we're gonna celebrate her for one, but then also we want to acknowledge as a collective that that's healing happening. It wasn't her place to talk week 1, 2, 3, and 4. There's some work that she had to do to even get to those sentences. And it's just a very important part. While it sounds like this is nothing, I promise you, a year ago, a month ago, there's no way on the earth she would have ever said, "Here I am talking about my trauma in a group setting on a recorded call."
Oh,
So,
that's so true.
yes. So y'all clap for her. Come on, let her hear your voice. Y'all clap for her.
Thank you,
All
Ina. Thank
right.
you.
Thank you.
Go,
That's
Ina.
you guys.
Nice. Very nice.
Because
Good job.
when I have so much, I have physical reactions. So you are lucky
No,
because
fair. That's fair.
when
That's fair.
I get sweaty and I get nausea, and so usually I throw.
No, that's fair. That's fair. I'm sure. Who else has physical reactions to your inner trauma when you got to confront it? I mean, okay, Dion, I figure can't be the only one. Yep, Phil. Man, that's fair. That's absolutely fair. No, that's fair. Good job to you. And let that be an example to all of us. This is a class where you can hide in the background. Remember, day one, I said, keep your cameras off if you want to. I did remember I said I was like, everybody was like, I got my camera on. Nope, not in this class. Because I understood that you're gonna need to be zipped up, as one of me and Grace's mutual friends would say. You ain't unzipping me. God dog it. And hopefully after 19 weeks, we get to lip it down just a little bit. Right? If we can get it from the top of your head and we get Ebony right here at the eyebrows, we did something. We did something. Because it took her 31 years to get that zipped up. So we can get it down just a little bit, that's fine. But congratulations to you, Ina. That's a big deal. Do not think it's not a big deal. Let me tell you what y'all do. You don't celebrate the big deals of your life because you think they need to be a big deal. These little small decisions are the big deals. Now, here's what's going to happen later. As trauma would have it, she's going to analyze this conversation and her trigger go, Antonio was really calling you out though, right? You should be mad about that. I'm not talking about her personality. We're talking about trauma. I'm not talking about which I'm not talking about her character. We're just talking about when she rested, when she eating her little organic fruit and parfait. I don't even know what that is, what a parfait is. I don't even know what it is. I see it at the airport. Whenever she eating that, her trauma gonna be like, he was really calling you out. He's slick. He good with words. And just let it pass by. Because what I'm really doing, he got a secret agenda. Actually, I do have a secret agenda. For the 8 people missing and anybody who may have not spoken yet, celebrate that this is a safe place not to speak. Just do the work. That's my secret agenda. Cool? I forgot to give you the title for the day. Today's title, when you upload it, is Childhood Trauma and Adult Attachment Disorder. That's the day we uploaded. Okay. We've been here for a little bit. Not just today, but a few weeks. And judging by y'all stuck points that y'all are sending in and new people sending in, y'all taking it seriously. Y'all are learning. Y'all are doing a good job. So let's all clap for ourselves. None of real talk. Let's clap for ourselves.
Woo!
Yeah. It's a big deal. Some of y'all get y'all paperwork in at the chin, right?
Listen, okay, this is the time
Hey,
where
it's in.
Hey, I do that
it.
for a reason, to be honest, because I like waiting until Monday to actually reflect on what happened throughout the week. If
Feel
that's
that.
that's
Yours is
weird.
better than mine. When I had to go through this, I did it at the last minute because I'm a rebel. I was gonna do it, but I was gonna do what I wanted to do. You weren't gonna tell me what to do. So I was gonna wait until I felt like, nah, I did it because I said so.
That was
Right?
your
That
trauma.
was me. Yeah, yeah, absolutely. That was trauma.
I ain't
Absolutely.
gonna miss more than like 2-3 days, or else I ain't gonna do it at all.
Fair enough. Ain't nothing wrong with
listen,
that.
because the
I
10
have other
reasons,
stuff to do because I have a real life. Okay, so
Yes. Yes.
the
Go
10
ahead,
reasons,
Grace.
the 10 reasons why I was awesome. I thought about it throughout the week, but it was so challenging. I was like, because you said it's gonna be hard. I was like, yeah, I know.
The crazy thing is that was like the most difficult exercise so far. Of all the bad things we talked about, when I said, hey, no bad news, just compliment yourself. That was devastating.
You made it hard with your 10 words.
10 words, yeah. But no, I did that, right? So over the next 2 days, so we won't have a Wednesday class. For the next 2 days, I've got to go to a Baptist general convention. Is it Abigail or is it no? It's the Mayboy is Baptist, right? Is it the convention? This is the convention. All right. So I gotta go to the convention and I gotta do four sections or whatever. I gotta do 15-minute scholarly thingies. That's easy because it's 15 minutes. It's difficult because it's 15 minutes. So when I tell you one word, it's like, you should have just let me just say in 15 words. I could have went to ChatGPT and say, hey, give me 15 reasons why. One word, you gotta actually think. Things get really harder when I force Anne Marie to talk about her 27 years of living because she's 27. You know what I'm saying? She's 27. Yeah. And to put it in 3 minutes, that's
37.
37. There you go. Yeah, that's right. A little
There you
wisdom on
go.
37. You know, that's when it gets difficult. You say, hey, put 37 years into 3 minutes. I get it. That's hard. Okay, adult
Which is
attachment
why I've
disorder.
never done the homework yet. I'll be honest.
That's fair. That's absolutely fair. Adult attachment disorder typically refers, Grace, to difficulties in forming and maintaining stable relationships rooted in problematic attachment styles that develop during childhood. These attachment styles are primarily influenced by the relationships of individuals that they had with their primary caregivers. Uh-oh. Now, what that mean, Antonio? It means when Grace looks over her life, when Ina looks over her life, let me unsay Grace, let me unsay Ina because I must just say Antonio because I'm about to say something way too hard, and I don't want y'all to be like, there he go talking about me again. I don't want to know. Let me say me. Let me say me. When Antonio looks at his life and takes a real deal investment of his life, Dion, and goes, damn, I ain't got no friend. And then watch this here. And I really go, I mean, when my ego stops saying that's because I don't like friends though, because I don't the only person you can depend on is you. When I get out of that motion and emotion, and I start going, but wait a minute, every relationship I've ever had has fell apart. Hmm. I mean, me and my ex cool, but we ain't cool. When black folk mean something, we say it twice. Like jail. Anne Marie in jail. Anyway. And you start to look back all your past relationships and you recognize that you got bodies of traumatic relationships. And then you look at your inner circle, you go, that's why my inner circle is so small. That's true. But when we actually analyze why it's so small, it comes back to two things. You have adult attachment disorder because the primary people who were supposed to love and take care of you F that up. And since you have a strained relationship with grandma, grandpa, mom, dad, whoever, it's created strained relationships in your adult life. Simply put, since Anne Marie was never nurtured, when her husband say, "Damn, baby, you could have gave me some grace." Damn, baby, I ain't never been nurtured to give grace. That's what it is. That's what it is. That's what it is. That ain't Anne Marie and Antonio tripping. But how you gonna ask somebody to be a nurturer when they was never raised in a nurturing environment? It's fair. It's fair. You're asking me to give something I've never seen.
I don't know how to do exactly.
Because I don't know how to do it. And you didn't pick me to be nurturing. You didn't pick Anne Marie to be nurturing, so don't force me to be it now that we together.
Mm-hmm.
It's true. It's true. It's also true.
Something you said in the beginning, he says to me all the time, is you self-sabotage yourself all the time. And that's 100% true. He says I cut my nose off to spite my face. That's the thing he
Yeah.
always says. I'm like, you're damn right.
Yeah.
I get you before you get me. That's how I am.
I felt that about spirit. I used to say that all the time. I get you before you get me.
Mhm.
So did Deanna. She gave it right in.
Right at the right time.
That's my sister from another mentor over there.
So that's it. We have had a conversation. We did play 2 videos. Girl, we didn't have a conversation. Did you finish with your cousin? Because you didn't have to come.
I did. I
Okay.
did.
Did you have a good time?
I did. She just got her master's in sociology.
Okay, good.
She was down for her graduation, and she said I asked her what's next. She say, take a break, and I'm going for more. I said, your doctor? She said, yep. And she's her specification is in family and societal development, something like that.
Okay. Okay. Look at that. Look at that. Look at her being smart. Look at her being smart. Oh, you know what? I've realized something. I've got trauma, y'all, that you know what? Let's talk. Yana just made me realize that I have trauma. It just made me realize that I didn't realize I had, but it makes damn sense that I have it. Duh. Duh. Of course it makes sense to have it. All right. I need to start asking y'all to leave reviews on the books, and because they're so they're not helpful. They're vital for a book release. Vital. They're oxygen. And I think on like 2 or 3 y'all left review on Re-Segregation. 2. And then 1 or 8 of y'all on Kofi, which I'm grateful. Don't get it twisted. But the reason why I never say it, and I know I need to, every day I get up and here's what happened. In 2014, I was pastoring my little church. Okay, I got you now. Pastoring my little church. And my aunt, who is the matriarch of the family now, jumped up and just embarrassed me in front of the church and like literally stopped the whole service and say, you shouldn't be promoting your book in the Lord's house, you know. So I ate that and I let her do a thing. And it bothered me for a long time. It was 100 people there. It bothered me for a long time. So then, and she's just this abusive aunt. So when my mom died in 2022, In front of the casket, she came to me and was like, "You should have told me that your mama was dying and such and such." Like she literally is admonishing me at the casket. At the end when you shake everybody's hand, admonishing me. So I ate that. I ain't saying nothing. I was just saying, okay, 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 blah, blah, blah. So then she called me the next day because she must have, felt some type of way. So she calls me to get on me. So I answered the phone. And normally I don't, but I answered the phone. She says, "So, all right, baby, now you gonna call your auntie tomorrow? Are you gonna call your auntie and check on her?" I said, "No, ma'am. I want y'all to hear." She didn't hear me. She hear me well. Saying, so she was shocked. First off, she was shocked because that's not, you're supposed to get the ceremonial. Yes, Anne Marie. You understand? Yes, ma'am. I sure will. No, ma'am, I'm not. Very respectable. No, ma'am, I'm not. And why not, baby? You're the most abusive person in my life, and you always have been. And I'm adopted into my family. I'm adopted into my family. And I say, you always have been. And I just said, how? I said, well, first off, you should know that I know all those bad things that you said about me in this particular situation. I won't bring up a situation. And she was like, because everybody, I'm well respected, always coming back to me, but tell me what I said. I said, well, I'm not going to do that because that's a trap. Because if I say one thing wrong, you're going to say you didn't. Plus, you're trying to figure out what I said. I mean, what I heard. But I do want you to know how abusive that question is because you don't sound like someone innocent when you say, tell me what I said. Because an innocent person would have said, oh, no, I didn't, and blah, blah, blah. You sound like a guilty person, which I don't feel like going back down this road. I've never stood up to you before. It's not a problem. I just never really said anything to you before, but I'm saying something now because my mom dying made me recognize I just don't want to participate in people hating me. I just don't want to participate in it. So this conversation going to 5 hours because my dad wound up calling, and my dad wind up telling her everything I said because for years they can never understand why I never fooled with this aunt or that side of the family or this period. And so it was the whole thing. And I realized last week that same aunt stops me from telling y'all to give me reviews on those books. Full circle. This ain't got nothing to do with her behavior. See, she somehow left trauma in my head that if I ask people to support my hard work by leaving a review, I am promoting myself past God. And I should be admonished and beat. How dare I? So that's why I have such a large audience, but so very little reviews, because I am traumatized to even ask for reviews because of that one day. And I didn't realize it until last week. And I thought about it briefly, but then when Deanna just said what she said, it made me realize, yeah, you don't need childhood trauma. This trauma could come 2 years ago, 3 years ago, off something, blah, 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 blah. So careful of how you process trauma. Because I made a meaning out of if I ask Jerome to support my books, then I'm losing my soul. I am profiting the world and losing my soul. Grace knows me. What does it profit a man to gain the world and lose his soul? Great Grace and Jerome and Jalen understand what I'm talking about. That's trauma. And this lady who has no friends whatsoever, if she dies right now, we won't find out to 3 4 days. But the neighbors will smell because don't nobody fool with it. She got $5 million opinions. How many of y'all got them family folk with $5 million opinions? You can't tell them nothing, Anne Marie. You know what I'm talking about. $5 million opinions. You know what I'm talking about. Them $5 million pigs can't tell nobody. They're the smartest person in the room. They know everything. And then they come to you real slick. But baby, God told me. God ain't tell you nothing. You're using God as a reason to abuse me because you don't like whatever you see happen on in my life, and you think you have a better way of how I should live my life so I can make you feel better about your standards put on my life. Can I get an amen?
Amen.
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 All right, then. So I just want to say, got a reminder that remember, trauma can come up like that. We're going to come back over adult attachment disorder, but I want to get Deanna to talk about the trauma she just mentioned to me. And well, she didn't mention it to me, but she wanted to say something. And then I'm going to swing to Dion too. Go ahead.
Okay, so it's crazy you said what you just said because mine is actually along the same lines. So my cousin was here visit. She lives like permanent residency in London. Her husband was in the Air Force. He retired, and that's where that's where they retired too, because that was the last place that he was stationed at. And they asked me, what I've been up to, so I told them, and I shared my books with them. And it dawned on me because I was talking to her, and my aunt said, make sure, you need to make sure you have a foundation. Everything starts with a foundation. And I almost teared up because I realized something. I realized why I am afraid to live my dreams. I'm afraid to walk into my dreams. That fear that Antonio pointed out a couple of weeks ago, and I was like, son of well,
People cuss me all the time.
I do. Majority of times in my head, but
Oh, we're gonna talk about your trigger yesterday too, but keep going.
So I figured it out. And I used my short story book as an example. Because I was telling my cousin, say, this is an example of, because I told her, I said, I have a wonderful foundation. I have people that if I say, hey, I did this, they will support me. But because I was craving it from a specific type of foundation, when that foundation shut me down, I shut down everybody. So I used the Fables of the Fantastic as an example. I showed her, I said, you see this? I said, look at this cover. And I turned the front back. I said, it's a wonderful cover, right? And she was like, yeah. She kind of had this curious look on her face. Like, what was I getting to? I said, I'm finna give you an example. When I showed this particular book to one standard of foundation, it wasn't, oh, great job. Oh, I'm so proud of you. It was, you need to put more Black people on the cover. So in going to celebrate my dream, because as a kid, I actually dreamed about being an author. When I went to this particular structure of foundation to present a dream that I was living out, I was met with correction. So because I was met with correction, I shut all foundational aspects out. So I don't celebrate my small victories because in fear of my victories being met with correction. And at that point, she said, at that point, she said, you know what? Because she, again, London, she said, your number's still the same, right? Oh, what's that? I was like, which one you have? So I gave it to her. She said, I'm gonna message you because I want to make sure that you have my number. She said, you talk to me anytime. But I thanked her for letting me talk that out because that's not a trauma that I knew I had. Because I told her, I said, that's what stops me from going, hey, Antonio, I need help. Hey, Grace, I need help. Because if I'm in my dream, I'm going to need help in my dream. But if I'm being met with correction, instead of you helping me, you're going, in my head, instead of you helping me live my dream, you're going to correct me in my dream. So why would I go to somebody for correction when I'm asking you for help? Why would I bring something to you that I want to celebrate with you because you mean so much to me if you're going to correct me in it?
Fair.
So
That's the first time I'm hearing this for sure.
yeah, because it's the
And
first time. It's the first time I figured it out.
to
Because I
give
think
them more context, I think there's maybe two white people on her cover, and it's a bunch of animals and
oh,
stuff.
I'll show it. Hold on.
Yeah, but it's her cover represented people in the stories. She didn't write about no black stories. There's yeah, the cover. Yeah, she didn't write about no black stories. There you go. There you go. There you go. Now, Dion, if you could, I'm gonna come back to Dion. I was gonna do something, but I don't want to do it just yet. Go ahead.
Go ahead. Oh my gosh.
Mhm.
This has been a year of discovery, so I don't know how much you want to know. So we'll start off with my sister. Okay. My sister was the older sister. She was the one that you guys are talking about where, latchkey. She came home, she had to take care of me, and she resented it. Um, she, she right out resented it. My parents realized this. Uh, you know, things like, having boys over, doing things that she knew she shouldn't be doing, she acted out. Um, so my parents decided, okay, you'll go live with your grandmother. She's home all day because that was the other thing. My sister had this, everybody in the projects, their moms stay home. How come you can't stay home? My parents are working. My mom's a reservation agent. My dad's a pharmacist, or
Yeah,
they
shame
have
on your
really,
parents for having to
yeah,
make money.
exactly,
Yeah,
exactly.
stupid parents to providing for their children.
And
Yeah,
we had a house, we had a house where the other people didn't have a house, and my sister didn't care about that. So, like I said, they let her go stay with my grandparents, and I stayed with my parents. Now this time I had to, when I came home, not go home, I had to go to a cousin's house, and we stayed there, or a friend down the street. And then at 6 o'clock, when my parents got home, I could walk home. um Now that made my sister upset, because now why she got to go stay with grandma and can't be at home. So that drama went into our whole life. you know she's always wanting to show me up. She's always, and it never happened, because she's so mad at people that it makes me shine more than she shines, because I'm not mad at people. Then you go with my mom. uh it goes generational. My mother had the same problem with her mother, which is my grandmother. And it was, my mom was a beauty pageant person. She did all the higher uppity things. And she was so, what's the word, full of herself, that when it came to one of the beauty pageants, she was talking with one of the judges. She didn't know it was a judge, and it was really bad how she treated that person. And they ended up telling her that. Well, my mother's bringing up, uh, you were not allowed to think you were pretty. You could not cross your legs, because that's showing that you are sexy or whatever. um it was just things like that. And my mom is, or was, the hard person to talk to, but everybody wanted to be around her. She was a good person. She made sure that everybody would talk to each other. So she was kind of like the glue that kept everybody together. But if you ever wanted to really tell my mom what you wanted her to know, you talk to me, because I was the person that could weave in what my mom needed to hear, even when she didn't want to hear it. So that creates me.
That damn sure does. I understand you so much now. Child. Okay.
And
Let's
there's
start
many
from the
more,
beginning.
many more things.
Yeah, let's
But
start from the beginning,
we'll
child.
just go with that.
Let's start from the beginning. So first off, your mama junior. Let's start there. Okay. Yeah. Yes, let's start there. And you can't think you're sexy. Now, we're not talking about what you think now. Just these blanket terms for how
it's
you
now
come up.
too.
Okay.
It's now
So
too.
she
I won't
can't
allow myself to
you
think
can't allow yourself because it was first off, being sexy was a bad thing for you growing up. And your brain made a meaning out of that. Whatever that meaning is, that's, there you go. Whatever that meaning is. Down to Mama Junior too. I had to knock all that Mama Junior out of her. Come over here with that. She tell you, I typically stop abuse right where it's at. Like, it's so hard to continue with me because I'll literally, you gonna call me tomorrow? No, I'm not. And I do it so callously to where it's a shock, All right, I tell you what, so I can't talk to you. Don't touch that. Go work on something else. I'll die for you touch my stuff. I'm one of them kind of people. I'm one of them kind of people for sure. One of those kind of people. So you got all of that going on, which leads now into adulthood. So let's talk about this. All right. Adult attachment theory, initially developed by John Bowlby, talks about a few things. Attachment styles. Y'all ready? Secure attachment. It's when Dion feels secure and connected without being overly reliant. Good job. They're comfortable with intimacy and comfortable with autonomy, being by themselves, and etc. That is not most of y'all on this call. We want to say yes.
So
the appropriate response. We want to say yes. We're not comfortable with intimacy. It's more accurate. Yeah, I feel like me. It's more accurate that you're comfortable letting your significant other know how good you are versus being intimate. See, sexual activity is not intimacy.
Nope.
A romantic activity is not intimacy. So what do? We say, well, I'm a pleaser. You're not a pleaser. You are a pleaser. But that's because it gives you power to finally take back your life in this situation. And you don't have value until you're submitting and being dominant in this area. And then once I feel good, then you have a place in your own life. Say they're not gonna like me on that one. I saw a bunch of faces, a bunch of shame faces. That's secure. Well, that's not secure attachment. I brought up a different kind of attachment. Anxious attachment. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. It's when Dion often feels insecure. I'm going to use Dion name for all these, okay? Because she's the last one that talked, and I'm answering her question with the lesson. All these are not Dion, but I'm going to use her name for all these. It's when anxious attachment is when Dion feels insecure about her relationships, seeking closeness, and intimacy more intensely due to fear and abandonment. Now we're getting somewhere. I got abandonment issues. So if you've ever said, well, you know what I'm saying, I'm just careful because when I love hard. How many, come on now, help me out, somebody. That's this. Jada like, whatever, dog, whatever. I thought we supposed to be homeboys. All right. Like that's anxious attachment. I can't Napoleon Hill calls it fear of loss of love, which we're going to come to in this class. That's that I don't want to lose this love, so I would be the best lover you ever had. But that makes sense, don't it? That makes sense. And the crazy part about that kind of love is then once you get the person and you get an autopilot, the real you show up. And so you stop doing these things. Yeah, you stop doing all those things. And now the sabotager shows up. The sabotager don't get dressed. The sabotager don't dress up. The sabotage don't have no sex drive. Come on, help me. Come on now. Come on now.
All right. All right.
Come on. All right. Making some
I
sense.
hear you.
Okay. Okay.
I
All
hear
right.
you.
We making some sense now. We making some sense.
I
We
hear
making some
you.
sense. I want to be the best lover you ever had because secretly I don't want to lose you. I don't want to go through that again. Now, there's nothing wrong with, so you're saying, so I'm not supposed to be the best lover ever? No, you're supposed to have a competitive drive, but it's not supposed to be powered by because I'm going to lose you. That's a different story. A different story. So that secure attachment, Dion feels good with her intimacy and good with her autonomy. Not y'all. Not most of y'all. Anxious attachment, Dion feels insecure about her relationship. So she gonna be the best relationship you ever had because she got some serious fear of abandonment issue. And if I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna make sure if you leave, it ain't gonna be because of me.
All righty now.
All right. All right, Trey said that's good. Avoidant attachment. This is when Dion maintains emotional distance from others, Deanna, often dismissing closeness and a strong preference for independence and self-reliance. That's Anne Marie. That's Deanna. Grace say, just call my name.
Can you go a little bit deeper in that one?
I sure will. Grace said, just call my name. Grace, you right here. you right here.
Okay. Yeah, no, seriously. Whatever you mentioned, whatever the subtopics, just call my name when it
Just
applies
say
to me.
your name, so you can be like, okay, that one right there, got it.
Okay.
Yeah, avoidant attachment is when Jalen maintains emotional distance from his significant other or just friends. Doesn't matter. And often dismisses closeness and has a strong preference for independence and self-reliance. Here's examples. Don't nobody really know Jalen, but Jalen. They don't know what Jalen stay. Look at her. They don't know what Jalen stay. Old girl been with Jalen for 5 years. Still don't know nothing about Jalen. Don't know nothing about Jalen but what Jalen exposed to expose about Jalen. You ain't getting nothing from me. Now here's the deal, but he cold because these people are cold. You're in a whirlwind of love. When they with you is what they gonna say. When I'm with you, I'm with you. Is what Jalen gonna say. When I'm with you, I'm with you. I want to hear about all this stuff outside. I'm with you. Because Jalen's trying to say, stay in this moment because I'm not giving you nothing else outside this moment. You're not getting nothing else outside. Now, this moment is beautiful. But don't ask deep questions because I'm not giving that to you. Nah. Don't ask me about my childhood. I'm not giving that to you unless I feel like giving it to you. You get my dreams, but you're not going to get my deep dreams.
So this is why it's hard for me to say, when someone says they love me, it's hard for me to say it back.
Yes, because to say I love it back is to get close, and to get close is to be let down. And you don't pick people who gonna let you down. And let's face it,
I have that problem bad.
Everybody gonna let you down. That's why you don't pick people. Right? That's why you kind of let them pick you. Deanna, go on unmute your mic and just scream all over this section right here. Just scream all over this section. This is
I
your
only
section.
look like this. I only look like this.
She mean, y'all. I'm telling y'all.
You only gonna get the crust level. You not gonna get to the pie filling.
Nope.
Don't ask me about my dreams because we're not gonna tell you that, because if I tell you my dreams, you're gonna have ammo and you're gonna hurt me anyway, and you're not gonna use my dreams against me.
Did not think of that.
Wow. What else? I can do it by myself. I don't need help.
That's right. That's right. Right.
I got this. You just do you. I'm gonna do me.
We gonna sleep in 2 separate beds. We gonna stay in 2 separate places.
Because I need my own space.
I need my own space.
Because if you live with me, you gonna know too much about me, and I need you to know only what I tell you. I like Anne-Marie said, I'm gonna cut the head off the snake before it bite me, and I'm gonna feed you with a long wooden spoon.
You see what pajamas I got on? Ain't no play for you. You see the pajamas I'm wearing? I'm telling you, don't come over here.
Grace is my best friend. and I know she know I be distancing myself from her, and she know a lot, but I still distance myself. Heck, I distance myself from my own kid.
This is yourself from me. I just don't.
We are one and the same.
One and the same.
Oh my God.
One and the same.
I will only say what I want to say.
My sister from
you
another
will not.
Anne Marie, Deanna Marie, it's the same thing. It's the same thing. It's the same thing. It's absolute same thing. She did it to me, except the reason it fails with me is because I'm stupid. I'm stubborn.
Oh my God, he just don't stop.
I'm stubborn.
Keep asking questions. He keep wanting to know more and more.
I figure out slick ways. Deanna. I get up in there. She'd be like, no. Okay, landmine right there. Okay. And I wait 10 minutes and I go, hey, I just had a great idea, but I'm not really as smart as you in this. See if this, I do it all the time. I do it all the time. See, look this out. Now, I'm not going to say that. I'm just giving you this. And if I'm right, then let me know how I can help, if at all. She's not going to, this is what's going to happen. First off, this is an 8-month conversation. It took me 8 seconds to say that. She's going to bring this back up 8 months from now. Because she damn sure ain't going to do it recently. Oh, no, because then I had something to do with it. That's right, Jalen. How do we influence people? Because she said it now, I got something to do with it, you know? She's not going to say it now.
And
8 months from now.
I don't need no help.
I don't need no help. 8 months from now.
Because I don't ever want nobody to ever be able to say, you couldn't
help
do
me.
Help me.
All right, let me tell you where this comes from. Then we get to Trinae before she got to get off, and then we come right back to you, Dion. It comes from you didn't get closeness from your parents, so you cannot tolerate closeness in your relationships. That's where it comes from. That's adult attachment disorder. Since you did not, not just closeness. What was the anxiousness since your parents left you every chance they get. Here's how your parents leave you. The one thing Dion wants to show is, look, mom. Go on, I'm busy. But then when Dion can do that little dance jig and sing, come on here and shuck and jive. Come on, show you Aunt Kathy the little thing you do.
Jive. Nobody.
Come on over here and do that. It's when parents won't compliment what's important to you, but put you on display for the superficial thing that you care nothing about. But they care about it. They like how it makes them look. So you grow up a narcissist. Not because you got bad narcissistic traits. It's because you've been taught by your parents the things that matter to you are not important. So make sure nothing else matters to anybody else. Not for you. Okay, go ahead, Trinace. We got some science
So,
going on today.
I just went to lunch, so I got time today, sir.
You got time today.
I got time. So I've been knowing this class been going on. Thank you, Grace, for letting me know, for reminding me, because I've been forgetting. So Grace, keep reminding me. I was outside putting a VIN number on the vehicle when it started. This is like real deep. Can I get the previous classes?
Yes, babe, you sure can.
So me and my
you got an iPhone, right? You know what you can really do for me, Ina? If you can, in fact, we put out, we'll start setting out the podcast and then the YouTube channel. We'll say yeah, the podcast and the YouTube channel, set of the links, Diana, because and then subscribe to the podcast. Subscribe
so
to
that way I can share this with everybody. Who there are a lot of people who would benefit for this because they think this is just my personality. This is just who I am. It is. That's who you. That's what life. Your experience has created this. This is like what I always say. Life is you don't want life to what is it? Don't let life kill your spirit, the spirit that you were given. And you know, things that happen to us that they can impact our spirit. They definitely can impact who we were created to be. So I need to get these so I can run these directly to some people's.
I do understand.
And I need to I need to catch up.
Got you. Yeah, I'm gonna see you the podcast, and y'all go ahead and give a rate on the podcast. So this is what my normally I would say shoot them the link, but see, my aunt's trauma don't let me promote myself. So that's not promoting myself. You help me reach more by manipulating these algorithms. But my aunt and her trauma makes me not say that. But we put that on the podcast.
So I wonder why. I mean, I guess that makes sense. Although I know I'm the shit. I know it, but I don't like to share it. I know
you got something. You got something like I got something like I got going on. You got it going on. So right. We got the same problem going on.
What's your sign, Janae?
Huh?
What's your sign?
She's a Scorpio.
Scorpio.
Water signs. That's your water sign issue. Antonio has that, and I have that weak answer. So
she is a Scorpio. You hear me? Scorpio. Child. All right, so I just sent you the podcast link, and you can we'll I'll give you the titles and stuff. I get the right titles and stuff. Back to you, Deanna. Yes, just anxious. This no avoiding attachment. See, because here's the deal. Deanna's mother avoided her. Then her brother was trying to get all up under her, but the reason why her life is bad is because it's her brother's fault. Yeah. Look at her realize. Come on, realize had this breakthrough.
Oh my God, because I could not stand him.
No, I actually brought you up early before you was on the call.
I could not stand him. And when I tell you, so my mom put me out the house when I was 18. So I was lying about going to college, filling out application paperwork. She said she was tired of it, so she put me out. And I didn't go where I was supposed to go. So she came pick me up. Took me back to the house. My dad came the next day to take me to his apartment, to his house. But my brother sat there and cried. And I didn't understand why. Like, I was truly baffled at why my brother was crying, because I wasn't going to be living under the same roof with him anymore.
You already had the attachment disorder by then.
Right.
For someone to cry because they losing you was dumb to you.
I didn't understand.
People like that say, "Don't even give me no funeral. Y'all just you know what I'm talking about. Don't even do all that funeral stuff for me.
Yeah.
Don't come lying over my body like that. Come on now. Come on
now. Right? Just cook me and splash me on the ocean. Just give me my freedom. If I can't have it in life, give me my freedom in death. Don't put me in no box. And I didn't understand why he was crying. And he said, I'm get emotional now, because he said, who am I going to have to talk to? You my best friend.
Your traumatic brain said, ain't my job to talk to you.
I started crying because I didn't realize. Like, I did not realize that that's how he viewed. Like, and to this day, me and him, we think as thieves.
Yep, they're very close.
But I didn't.
You gave him hell, though, girl.
I did. We was just sitting I was sitting in the living room with my cousin. They were talking to them, talking me and my brother. We, like, when I say we fought, like, it wasn't no pushing and shoving, yelling at each other. No, we went toe to toe, blow for blow. We moved furniture, literally. I got the scar right here. I got a little scar right here from him.
Pretty sure you deserved it. Pretty sure.
What?
Yeah,
I'm pretty sure she was her brother's antagonist.
I was. I absolutely was. I did not like him. I could not stand my little brother. Could nobody else touch him, but I didn't like him. But somebody else try to fight him. I'm finna wet him out. Could nobody else touch him but me. And when I say we fought, like, we duked it. The last real fight we had to make sure the house was clean before my mom got back to the house. Because we literally moved furniture. We went from room to room. We broke a rocking chair that was my grandmother's. My daddy's mama, who had passed away, was one of those good old, those old wood rock, good rock. Yeah, one of them. Had to go in the dumpster. And we made me being a creative one. This is what we gonna tell mama. Don't tell her nothing else outside of this. Don't walk around mama without a shirt on. Because we went blow for blow. But I never.
Did you bring out any weapons?
Huh?
Did you bring out any weapons?
No. We didn't use weapons. We used hands. We went blow for
Ina,
blow.
are these podcasts they're not scheduled yet? They scheduled, but they're not posted yet. Because you're very far ahead. That's fine. I just want to, because I don't recognize them by the name.
Secret of Life. Is it Secret to Success, or was it? Yeah,
These supposed to go on Law of Attraction.
Yeah, no, they're scheduled far ahead.
They're scheduled, so they're okay. They'll be coming in. All right, they'll be coming. Yep. There you go. Good. Let me read this other one. Disorganized attachment, a mix of avoidance and anxious behavior. All right, so let's repeat now. Anxious behavior is when Dion says, "Oh my God, I'm gonna be the best lover you ever had, so you don't lose me." Okay. Avoidance is, you better be lucky I chose you. Okay. I don't need you. They make toys. They make toys. I don't need you.
They do though.
Okay. I don't need you.
Nobody knows me like me.
Nobody knows me like me, and ain't nobody gonna take care of me like me. That's that avoidance. And when you got both of those, then you literally become the most perfect version of Deanna and Anne Marie possible. When you got a little bit of blend both. And here's the deal. They're like 90-10, though. They're not 50-50. They're like 90-10. Yeah, they're like 90-10. They like,
and depends on the day.
It depends on child.
Right,
depends
Deanna?
on the day, and if the Lord spoke to them that day. If the Lord said, "Now let that man make it today,"
then I'm gonna let you make it.
Let you make it today.
Exactly.
Everybody ain't built for no Deanna and Anne Marie. I'm telling y'all.
But if the Lord is silent, all hell break loose.
So let's talk. I told her we was gonna talk about trigger. So I told her something yesterday. She got triggered. It doesn't matter what it was. But tell them, how did I talk to you, etc.
Mother say you triggered her.
Calm voice the whole time. It didn't matter, but he had a calm voice the whole time.
Was I mean? Was I inappropriate?
No, not inappropriate.
Did I even do anything wrong?
No.
Them triggers slick. They get hit when you don't even know they got hit. Man, they get hit when you don't even know they get hit. So in the conversation, I'm going, they do nothing wrong, right? And so now she's battling. Now she going.
No, see, that actually made it worse.
That made it worse.
That made it worse. That made it worse.
Wait, what? I missed it. What did he say?
So I didn't do nothing wrong.
Oh,
You're not telling that.
See, Marie understood when I said that only made it worse.
So what was I supposed to say besides shutting the F up? Because this is what I tell. No. This is what I say all the time. I say, you gotta stop telling me to shut the F up. And here's what I do. And because what they do is they're not gonna tell you that, but they're telling you that.
mm-hmm.
Right? And they're telling you that. So the answer is nothing. There's nothing I could have done. Yes.
Nope. Just leave me
Exactly.
alone.
Exactly.
That's what you could have done. Nothing. And then later on, when I cool down, then you could come and tell me that you're sorry because you were wrong. You don't tell me my feelings are no, you're wrong.
Okay. Did y'all hear that?
Oh, Anne Marie. Oh my God.
When I cool down, you can come tell me you sorry
That's
for
right.
what I did. Yeah, you're right. You understand. That's right, because you was wrong. That was excellent, Anne Marie. That was exactly facts.
It was.
That was exactly facts. Jamie said this for me. And it was something, it was over something. Now, we didn't argue.
No, we did.
It never got to that point.
It wasn't.
But I still had all the way bleeped up.
Yeah.
And the deal is, I shouldn't have.
No.
I shouldn't have. So we recovered. It took. I was like, all right, well, we can't mess up Mother's Day and blah 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 blah. So let's do this here, and we wound up having a great day. But we didn't even have a bad moment. Now I had her blanked up. You understand? I don't know how to explain that. I don't know what that means. I know what it means to me. What it means to me is I better shut the blank up. This is what it means. The problem with that
get out of the room.
Oh yeah, get completely out the room. Leave the house. Go on a drive.
Or let me leave and go for a ride. Let me go.
Should I cook before I leave, or should I bring food back when I come back?
Bring food back.
All right.
Yep. Don't come back here empty-handed. Absolutely not.
There you go. All right.
Definitely bring food.
All right. I was asking for all men. I was trying to ask for the male species for our survival rate. As we don't want to be extinct creatures. You understand? And yes, there you go. It was crazy. And in there, I asked her. This is when she was a little calmer, and she never blew up. But it was that Anne Marie, that silent steam.
That was growth, though. You have to admit.
And you gotta celebrate the little wins, Yana.
Is that what it is? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, then that was
any other time that conversation would have lasted about a good 4 hours.
It's true. That is true. That is true.
And it would have rolled over to the next day.
And you're right. And when it came back up 6 months from now, you're right. Exactly. All these are accurate. None of this happened, Grace. None of this happened. Listen, this isn't about relations. Some of y'all are already tuned out because it's not anything got to do with you. You're just like, I don't like this subject. And I understand. That's the whole purpose of having these, because here's the deal. When were we going to have this conversation in your life, Trinace? Gotta happen at some point. And therapy is that point. Therapy is that point.
But that's also a trigger, not liking a specific type. And I've learned this is my own personal learning moment that I had to learn about myself. There are certain subjects that I don't like talking about because they trigger me. And I had to start asking myself, well, this is not a bad conversation. So what about it didn't you like? Like I had to start asking myself that question. So if you've zoned out because you don't like the conversation, that means that there's a part of this conversation that's triggering to you. And when you ask yourself why, then you'll start breaking down, well, I don't like this conversation because of this, or I don't like it because of that. I don't like how I feel. Well, why don't you like how you feel about this conversation? Well, I don't like how I feel about this conversation because of this. And you'll eventually trace it back to a certain moment. Like The Office, the lady who literally showed me that a woman can be an entrepreneur and work from her house and still be married and raise kids. There was a moment where her and her husband, like, because it's in the house. So I walked in one day, she opened the door and then went back to the back of the room. Well, I kind of heard the back and forth between them, and I felt the energy in the house. And I just went to them, I said, I can't do this. I said, I can't be here. And because they were like parents to me. And the reason why that triggered me was because I was in the house when my parents used to argue and fuss and fight. I was the one who woke up in the middle of the night to my dad banging on the door because my mom locked him out and changed the locks on him, and then gave me the lock and hid it and said, "Don't give your daddy this key."
Oh, that's so toxic. Keep going.
So if there's something about this conversation that's triggering you, that's why. Because
let me clarify why it was toxic. Let me clarify why it was toxic. Not what she did, but to involve your children.
That's toxic.
That's the toxic. Well, all of it's toxic, but that's the toxic part. Because now I can't. You handicapping me. Now I can't fix the situation because then I would have to bring this trauma to my child. And I'm trying to keep my child out of this. So anyway, there you go. Keep going, Yana. Then we get your next way in the class.
Because I'm gonna be honest with everyone. Am I triggered that he brought up the conversation we had? Yes, I am. Why am I triggered? Because that's our personal business. Why does that trigger me? Because you don't tell people your personal business. So nobody needs to know how we look on the inside, which goes back to what he was talking about earlier. You only gonna know as much about me as I want you to know about me.
Yes, that's avoidance, because here's what actually happened. Here's what actually happened. A healthy couple explained for a 15 to 20-minute conversation how one of them was triggered, and they talked it out, salvaged the day, and handled it like wealthy, healthy people. That's what happened. Now, that's what was communicated. In her head, it was what goes on in this house stays on this house, blah, blah, blah.
Exactly.
Can y'all see the difference? This is what happens when you make a meaning out of stuff that you absolutely did not. So until she just said that,
he would have never known.
Here I am. That's not what was said.
Exactly. And
that's not what was said. And then hold on, because they need to hear. And when's the last time we had an argument? To your best knowledge.
I'm sorry.
To your best knowledge. To your best.
It's been a minute. It ain't been this year.
It hasn't been this year. Okay, we're in the 5th month.
We 5 months in.
Okay. It ain't been since July, so that's another 11 months now.
Oh, I'm
doing yeah. Okay. So therefore, what was displayed was healthy and wealthy as an example.
Exactly.
But what was heard was, as soon as he hang up, I'm gonna get on his mother. Mm-hmm.
But I kept talking because I understood that I was triggered, and I had to go through the process in my head real quick. Well, it's not a bad conversation, Deanna. You're helping somebody else. You're working.
It's my responsibility to know that her triggers is not her character, and her response is not her personality. They're gonna catch that one later.
I had another growth moment. Yay.
Actually, girl. See, they'll catch that one later. All right, keep going. No, you keep going. Like I cut you off. Keep going, and then we get your next thing out of here.
No, I was just saying, if you're triggered,
child, everybody get triggered.
Because trust and believe. Trust and believe. There would have been a point in time he would have asked me these questions, and they would have been real short. A few of you have been with us long enough to have heard me answer these questions. When he would ask certain questions, I've been very, very short. Very, very short. He'd be like, hey, remember this? I'm like, yep. Mm-hmm. Yep. Mm-hmm. Yep.
Sure do. And you're going to remember it when we hang up.
Right here.
I know that's right. That's right. You're gonna remember it longer than me. I know that much. I know that's right.
So for those of you who are triggered, please understand that I'm literally in front of you at this very moment. While you hear my vocal cords vibrating to create this sound, am triggered and talking through it.
I'm triggered for you, girl.
Okay, see,
He's always thinking he right.
I knew Anne Marie was my vibration from another universe. I knew it.
Oh, there's no doubt. No doubt.
So if you guys are triggered, just ask yourself the questions. And it takes a long time because I've been asking myself this question for like 4 years. Like, why am I triggered? Who said I was responsible? Like, trust me, it don't happen overnight. I am 4 years in the making. Okay. Maybe less than that. I don't know. I maybe give myself too much credit. but please, Antonio, continue. I just wanted to let
No. This is the higher we get in these classes, the more discussion the class is.
Yeah, I just wanted you all to know, like, you are seeing a triggered person work through their triggers while having a healthy conversation.
And the whole thing was health. The whole thing was healthy.
Exactly.
And what was highlighted was your health. And the only way you're ever going to realize that is to continue like you're already doing and just changing that story you tell yourself.
Ooh, I also want to point out, Antonio, I want to thank you.
I should be thanked. I am the man, but keep going.
Stop it right now. Stop it.
I want to
let her do
Man,
her
let that man feel good by himself.
You better let her say her thing.
That's fair. Go ahead.
And I want to thank you because everything he just said, the avoidance, all of that, I've done that to the umpth degree, and this fool's still here.
That's Anne Marie husband too. Anne Marie husband too.
30 years. He ain't going nowhere, Deanna. 30
Nowhere.
years we're doing this.
and I sit here, y'all, and I'll be like, this, excuse my verbiage, this nigga is crazy. I can rap right, and he will not go anywhere. Like he's still here, and I have put him through hell on the 9th degree, held and froze over and defrosted, froze over and defrosted again, and he's still here. So, Antonio, I just want to thank you because you, sir, deserve a trophy dealing with me.
That's a fact. I really do, but I can explain why. For one, I really do though. No. I really do. For
when
one,
he be telling y'all I'm the mean when he don't be lying to y'all. It's that whole avoidance thing. You only gonna see what I want you to see. You ain't gonna know the real me. Please.
I'm not gonna show you my real crazy. Not yet.
Yeah.
Facts. They don't want to see the real crazy.
Not yet.
They don't want to see the real crazy. It's just as nice.
By now, me and Anne Marie husband got the real crazy. Y'all. We see the real crazy. You hear me?
Oh, most definitely.
They should be in jail. Y'all understand?
I mean,
they should be in jail.
We married, so we married,
yeah,
so you can't testify against me.
No.
Exactly. That's why I did that.
No doubt.
I love you, Avery.
Yeah, no, it's all facts. She be spitting facts. Yeah, no doubt. For me, it's for one, since I understand trauma and stuff, I don't take it personally. On the rare occasion that I do start having a secret conversation in my head, I'll go say something. Now she fails at that. That's what it was yesterday. She fails at that, right? But she fails for 15 minutes now versus the 6 months, the 4-hour conversations, to making me drive 15 miles down the street to go chase after her, all this stuff, all these real things. These real things. Things real things. So when you understand something, no, just when you understand something, when you understand something, it's okay, okay, and then, but mostly, and that's, I would say 90% of why you have to compliment me according to you has something to do with you. Only 10. What I just said just now is 10%. I stay because you don't stop trying, even when you say I'm done. F this blank. I ain't trying no more.
You ain't got to blanket out, man. Fuck this shit.
Yeah. Whenever you do that,
FTS.
whenever you do that, you still try. And that's noticeable, even when I can't see it, Grace. And looking at somewhere. And be like, I said an hour when she calmed down.
It'll be
And then, of course,
it'll be about as big as the tip of a push pin, a needle.
The problem with Deanna and Anne Marie, I'm just going to assume for Anne Marie, is you think they're going to calm down. There's different levels of calm down with them. Okay,
you
different
learned. Look at the growth. Look at that.
Yes, because they can hold on to this for about 2 weeks, Grace, if they want to. Yeah. If they hold on to it before they start feeling bad, it'll take about 6 months, and they'll have to watch a movie or something to then go, huh, I should probably apologize to him. And then, of course, that's a plate of food or something, because they're not gonna apologize.
No, that's me. I'll bring you some coffee. I'll bring you something. Or I'll text, I'm sorry, in one letters, one I am like that.
No conflict resolution. No conflict resolution.
Hey, you good? You straight?
Yeah, you good? Yeah. You need water? Anything? No?
Yeah. Okay. Hungry? You want something sweet to eat?
One time Grace had to tell me, like, hey, you all right? And I didn't even know. Then I was mad. I found out after Grace was dismissed herself. I'm gonna get out of here. And then I found, that's why Grace asked that question. I get it now. I should have saw what Grace saw. I need to take classes from Grace. You hear me? I need to take classes. The Grace, step one, how do I recognize when I have effed around and found out? If you can just help me, if you can show me the geographical location of this, I greatly appreciate it. Okay, go ahead, Janice. You got the last words. Grace, you can actually, if you want to connect to your phone, say no, but you can. It's up to you. Or you can stay present. It's up. It's up. No matter. Stay present. Stay present. Okay, go ahead, Janice.
What Deanna just described her process is what I call the stomach ache. So the stomach ache is the symptom. And whatever it is, in my case, as much as I love ice cream don't love me at the level. If I have too much ice cream, I get a stomach ache, and that's a symptom. And what you are doing is tracing down the cause.
Yeah.
So that's usually the analogy that I describe when somebody say, well, they got attitude problem. Well, no, probably no attitude problem. It's probably a symptom of whatever that is that upset them.
So you're right. That's a fact. And it should be a fact. That's 100% fact. Yeah, you're right for sure. So that's a great way to end class, is knowing that I understand. And first off, thank you for your compliment, Dion. And I absolutely freaking deserve that compliment. Y'all don't, no. This one thing.
You do. I was just messing with you.
No, I already know. I know that's me and your relationship. Yeah.
Well, man, don't break your hand patting yourself on the back.
Right?
F my hand. I ain't need that hand anyway. You understand? Didn't need that hand no way, Anne Marie. God dog it. I grow me another hand. You hear me? No. It's really you, not me. Right? It's really watching how effed up you are psychologically. And then, well, it's the truth though. It's the truth. And then watching you try really hard not to be. You stand in the gap for people like that.
It's hard as hell. Let me tell you something.
You stand in the gap for that. I promise you, Anne Marie's husband say the same thing. She, but now you do it in your own way. Now, take this coffee. Like, instead of shoving it, you might go, here's your coffee, honey. Right?
No, I might drop it on the desk or drop it on the table a little harder than normal, but that's my sweetness right there. Here you go.
That's the sweetness right there. That's the sweetness.
I don't want it to splash on you. It's hot,
But
I'll just do it from a distance. I don't want to get burned.
Yeah, because you protected me. And you got to do it loudly so I can hear your apology.
Exactly.
That's
You
what
gotta
it
know I'm
is.
there.
Yes, yes, that's it. That's it. Just got to do it loud enough to hear the apology. As funny
Right.
as this is how we are, y'all. And the wonderful thing, give me 3 minutes, Grace. The wonderful thing about this is I think we have proven to one another that ain't no right or wrong. We're just talking about trauma. Notice that is I forget how many weeks we've been in this class, but we are not, under any circumstances, talking about you're wrong when you do this, you're right when you do this. I have yet to bring up wrong or right in the trauma class unless you was like, Ed was like, so tell me if I was wrong. Well, that's a whole different story. That's a whole different story, right? It's about knowing that trauma is my, I'm going to say two things. Number one, trauma has a response. If I cut Jerome, the cutting will have a response. He will bleed. And he will bleed after he slapped the taste out my mouth. You understand? There you go. You know, so there's two responses: cut, taste out mouth, then bleed. You understand? And the taste out mouth will happen faster than the blood could come out of his skin. You hit it. You hear me? Okay. Am I right, Jerome? Taste out mouth. There you go. Won't be able to taste mama's cooking no more. Blood out of skin is a response. Trauma out of person is a response. That's not who Anne Marie is. It is as natural as blood flowing from the skin. And one of us mates have to recognize that. And if neither one of us can, then we need safe words.
We've been using those too. We've been doing that.
There you go. We need safe words. We need safe words. Me and Deanna watched this movie, a series called Alice in Borderland. We was before it was hot. It's super hot, super awesome. We tend to catch them right when before everybody catch them. Season 2 it ended with the most profound statement possible without ruining the series. I'll tell you the statement because it won't tell you anything about the series. Somebody says, I can't tell you who somebody is because I'll be running it. Somebody says, life is a game we play with others. You might as well learn to enjoy it. That statement is powerful without context. When you put it in 2 seasons of context, it means something completely different. Life is a game you play with others. You might as well learn to enjoy it. And that's my last words to y'all. We are in a game. We call it life. Grace, it's going to suck.
Salty balls. Oh,
salty balls.
Sorry.
Might as well. No, that's the appropriate amount of sucking.
Sorry. I thought I was muted for a second. Sorry.
That's that New York coming out.
The saltiest.
Salty of the saltiest. And the truth is, might as well learn how to enjoy the salt. Just is what it is. You can't play better. You can't dominate. See y'all next week. Y'all are really, really catching and really, really learning it. And our numbers are going up. Look at that.
Homework for me.
Oh, yes. The homework for your ABC sheets are still part
Man,
of homework.
of course, you was that person. Oh, we forgot the
Okay.
homework.
I know, right?
Homework.
Ebony.
Take your ass off somewhere.
Being that adult.
Teacher's pet.
Stop adulting.
Just because you back in college don't mean we gotta be back in college. I done did my time.
That's
Oh my God.
Hello, Jalen. I'm in college and I'm still like, sis, no, ma'am. No, ma'am. I love you, but no, ma'am.
That's that back in college spirit she got going on, y'all. That's what that is. For sure. That's what that is. Y'all homework this week is no homework with the exception of the ABC sheet. So I'll let y'all make it. No homework with the exception of ABC sheets. Just love yourself. That's your homework. However that come out, go and do that. All right, y'all. You can't play better. You can't dominate. Thank you so much. Thank you, Lindsay, for being on at 1:30 in the morning. Thank you. Or 1:45 in the morning. Yes.
It's 12:46 actually.
You're very welcome. Yeah, you're so awesome. All right, y'all. Y'all have a good one. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.